Love handles are one of the top complaints for people trying to get in shape. You can lift weights, do cardio, even knock out hundreds of crunches, but that stubborn fat on the sides of your waist barely moves. Sounds familiar? For men, especially in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, the midsection is usually the last place fat comes off. And for women, the challenge often shows up around the hips and thighs. Either way, it's frustrating. The truth is, losing love handles isn't about doing more ab workouts. It's about understanding why your body holds fat there, fixing the mistakes most people make, and following strategies that actually work in the real world, even if you got a busy schedule, kids, or long work hours. That's what I'm breaking down in this video. Straightforward steps, no gimmicks, just what actually works to shrink your waistline. And since 96% of you watching right now aren't subscribed, hit that button before we dive in. Think of it like locking in your commitment. One small action that keeps stacking up brick by brick until the results show up. Let's build. When it comes to losing love handles, most people start in the wrong place. They think more crunches, more twists, or more sweat will finally burn that fat away. It's easy to believe because sweating feels like work, and we want to believe more work equals more results. But here's the truth. You can't out-train bad eating habits. Nutrition is the driver, and I'm not talking about temporary crash diets. Those just set you up to fail. I'm talking about the way you eat day in and day out without thinking much about it. That's what shapes your waistline over the long haul. Now, here's what a lot of people get confused. You can follow any style of eating: keto, intermittent fasting, low carb, plant-based, and they can all work. But none of them will work if you're eating more calories than you're burning. That's why so many guys in their 30s, 40s, and 50s struggle with stubborn belly fat. They're putting in the effort in the gym, but the kitchen cancels it out. Think about it like this. You could walk for an hour and burn roughly 250 calories. Sounds good, right? But that's the same as a single healthy snack cup of flavored yogurt or a handful of trail mix. One quick food choice can wipe out all the progress from that walk. And let's be real, most of us aren't stopping at just one handful. That's why nutrition has to be priority number one. Your workouts are shaping the muscle underneath, building your arms, chest, back, and yes, even your abs. But whether anyone will ever see that muscle comes down to your food. Nail your nutrition, and the results you've been chasing in the gym will finally start to show. When it comes to fat loss, there's something you need to understand right away. You don't get to choose where the fat comes off first. That's why love handles feel so frustrating. They're one of the last places to shrink, especially for men. Here's how it usually works. When guys start losing fat, the first place they notice changes in is their face and neck. That's why people say, "Hey, you look slimmer," before you've even noticed much happening in your midsection. After that, fat tends to drop from arms, chest, and legs. But the midsection, the lower stomach, obliques, and lower back, holds on for dear life. It's the same story for a lot of women too, except the fat often hangs around the hips and thighs longer. Either way, those problem areas stick because your body's wired to store fat there as a reserve. Think of it as your body's savings account. It's the last place it wants to withdraw from. This is why people get discouraged. They see progress everywhere else, but think nothing is happening because the fat around their waist hasn't budged. So they quit too early, not realizing they were closer than they thought. Here's the truth. If you stay consistent with your nutrition and activity, those love handles will come off. It just takes patience. It's not that your workouts aren't working, it's that your body follows a specific order of fat loss. Think of it like peeling layers off an onion. The outer layers, face, arms, chest, come off first. The inner layers, stomach, obliques, back fat, take longer, but if you keep peeling, eventually the whole thing comes off. That's when the results finally show. Once your nutrition is under control, the next step is making sure you're training the right muscles. And no, endless crunches and sit-ups aren't the answer. Those exercises mostly hit your rectus abdominis, the six-pack muscles in the front. What most people ignore are the obliques, the muscle that run along the sides of your waist. Here's why that matters. When your obliques are strong and developed, your waistline looks tighter and more athletic once the fat comes off. Ignore them, and you're left with the same soft outline, just a smaller version. The mistake a lot of people make is thinking bicycle crunches or Russian twists are doing a job. The problem, most people aren't actually rotating their torso. They're just flapping their elbows or moving their hands side to side. That doesn't train the obliques the way you think it does. Instead, focus on true rotational movements like these: hanging leg raises with a twist, cable wood choppers, weighted side bends, done carefully, broomstick twists, keeping your arms locked while rotating your whole torso. The goal isn't hundreds of sloppy reps. It's quality contractions. Feel the squeeze in your obliques every single time. Think of it this way. Your abs are like any other muscle. You wouldn't wave your arms around and call it bicep training, right? Same goes for your obliques. Train them properly, and when the fat comes off, your midsection will finally look the way you've been working for. Here's a common mistake. You finish a tough workout, you're drenched in sweat, and you think, I earned this. Then you reward yourself with a pizza, fast food, or a big dessert. The problem, that mindset can wipe out your progress faster than you think. For example, let's say you walk on the treadmill for an hour and burn around 250 calories. That sounds great until you grab a single slice of pepperoni pizza on the way home, which can be 300 calories or more. Just like that, your workout is erased. It doesn't stop there. When you start thinking of food as a reward for exercise, it becomes a slippery slope. You wire your brain to associate working out with junk food. One cheat meal turns into a cheat day, then a cheat week, and before you know it, you're back where you started. This is why nutrition has to come first. Exercise builds your strength, shapes your muscles, and boosts your health. But it's not a free pass to eat whatever you want. Instead of thinking, I worked out, so I deserve this, flip the mindset to, I worked out, so I deserve results. You don't have to cut out your favorite foods completely. The key is balance and awareness. Enjoy a burger or even a cookie, but understand the trade-off. Make it the exception, not the rule. Just remember, you can't out-train poor eating habits. Value and take pride in your workouts enough not to cancel them out in the kitchen. Now, let's build on this with some real strategies that make losing love handles possible long-term. First, track your intake. You don't have to obsess over every calorie forever, but awareness is everything. Spend 2 weeks logging what you eat, even roughly. Most people are shocked to see how quickly little things add up. Sauces, snacks, drinks. Once you see it, you can fix it. Second, prioritize protein. Protein isn't just about muscle repair. It keeps you full. A breakfast with 30 grams of protein will keep you satisfied for hours compared to a sugary cereal that leaves you hungry before lunch. Protein also has a higher thermic effect, meaning your body burns more calories digesting it compared to fats or carbs. Third, stay consistent with movement. You don't need to live in the gym. Aim for a mix of resistance training 3 to 4 times a week and daily activity. It can be walking, stairs, anything that keeps you moving. Think of cardio as your calorie accelerator, not your foundation. The foundation is consistency with your diet. Fourth, manage stress. High stress keeps cortisol levels elevated, and cortisol encourages your body to store fat in the midsection. That's right, the very thing you're trying to lose. Simple practices like walking outdoors, journaling, or just unplugging from your phone can help bring stress down and keep your fat loss on track. Finally, sleep. Poor sleep wrecks your hormones, slows discovery, and increases cravings, making it harder to stick to your plan. 7 to 9 hours is non-negotiable if you want to see that fat melt off. So, let's recap the blueprint. Nail your nutrition, understand fat loss order, train your obliques with intention, avoid the food reward trap, track your intake, prioritize protein, move consistently, manage stress, guard your sleep. Love handles aren't permanent, they're just stubborn. With patience, consistency, and the right approach, they'll come off. And when they do, your whole physique changes, not just your waistline. So now I want to hear from you. What's the one mistake you've been making with fat loss? Drop it in the comments. And if you're serious about building a leaner, stronger body, check out the other videos on this channel. That's where we go even deeper. Hit subscribe, keep building, and remember, brick by brick, no shortcuts.